Shalom, everybody. This is a... Sorry if you can't see me well. I'm going to actually be reading something that I think a lot of people need to hear in light of what happened with the recent shooting here in America. And this is actually a speech, or part of a speech at least. I don't think it's the entire speech, but it was a very good speech. Very strong words in it. How many of you remember the Columbine shooting? There was a particular victim. Let me see here. Her name was Darrell Scott. And actually, I believe I do remember hearing about the girl. In fact, I think her parents wrote a book. Let me just put it up on the screen. Here we go. This is her. She was a victim of Columbine. Now, her dad, Darrell Scott, he was asked to speak. Actually, you know what? I'll just start reading this. Hoping you can hear me. If you will excuse me 1 second. Okay, yeah. I had to check something to make sure that it was receiving sound. Now, the reason I'm reading this, and I'm going to post this up on YouTube, is because, to my understanding, the mainstream media here in America, which is by no means, perfect, I don't think that they shared this speech on the news. It wasn't broadcast. So what I'm going to do is, and I mean, I shared it on my Facebook page, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it and put it on YouTube because I think it can reach more people through YouTube, and that's where you come in. Share the video, post it on your Facebook pages, whatever, or just simply listen to what it says. And I'm going to go ahead and just start reading it. It's kind of long, but it's a good message. So let's put aside our theological differences, and let's just listen to it. Columbine student's father 12 years later. Guess our national leaders didn't expect this. On Thursday, Darrell Scott, the father of Darrell Scott, a victim of the Columbine High School shootings in Littleton, Colorado, was invited to address the House Judiciary Committee's subcommittee. What he said to our national leaders during this special session of Congress was painfully truthful. They were not prepared for what he was to say, nor was it received well. It needs to be heard by every parent, every teacher, every politician, every sociologist, every psychologist, and every so-called expert. These courageous words, spoken by Darrell Scott, are powerful, penetrating, and deeply personal. There is no doubt that God sent this man as a voice crying in the wilderness. The following is a portion of the transcript. Whoops, did I go too far? Oh, there it is. Okay. Since the dawn of creation, this is his words, since the dawn of creation, there has been both good and evil in the hearts of men and women. We all contain the seeds of kindness or the seeds of violence. The death of my wonderful daughter, Rachel Joy Scott, and the deaths of that heroic teacher, and the other 11 children who died must not be in vain. Their blood cries out for answers. The first recorded act of violence was when Cain slew his brother Abel out in the field. The villain was not the club he used, neither was it the NCA, the National Club Association. The true killer was Cain, and the reason for the murder could only be found in Cain's heart. In the following days that followed the Columbine tragedy, I was amazed at how quickly fingers began to be pointed at groups such as the NRA. I am not a member of the NRA. I am not a hunter. I do not even own a gun. I am not here to represent or defend the NRA because I don't believe that they are responsible for my daughter's death. Therefore, I do not believe that they need to be defended. If I believed that they had anything to do with Rachel's murder, I would be their strongest opponent. I am here today to declare that Columbine was not just a tragedy, it was a spiritual event that should be forcing us to look at where the real blame lies. Much of the blame lies here in this room. Much of the blame lies behind the pointed fingers of the accusers themselves. I wrote a poem just 4 nights ago that expresses my feelings best. Your laws ignore our deepest needs. Your words are empty air. You've stripped away our heritage. You've outlawed simple prayer. Now gunshots fill our classrooms, and precious children die. You seek for answers everywhere and ask the question, why? You regulate restrictive laws through legislative creed, and yet you fail to understand that God is what we need. Men and women are 3-part beings. We all consist of body, mind, and spirit. When we refuse to acknowledge a 3rd part of our makeup, we create a void that allows evil, prejudice, and hatred to rush in and wreak havoc. Spiritual presences were present within our educational systems for most of our nation's history, referring to North America. Many of our major colleges began as theological seminaries. This is a historical fact. What has happened to us as a nation? We have refused to honor God, and in so doing, we open the doors to hatred and violence. And when something as terrible as Columbine's tragedy occurs, politicians immediately look for a scapegoat, such as the NRA. They immediately seek to pass more restrictive laws that contribute to erode away our personal and private liberties. Trying to do this. There we go. Sorry. Where was I? Oh, okay, they scapegoat. They immediately seek to pass more restrictive laws that contribute to erode away. I already read that. Okay, sorry. Eric and Dylan would not have been stopped by metal detectors. No amount of gun laws can stop someone who spends months planning this type of massacre. The real villain lies within our own hearts. And those of you who don't know, I believe Eric and Dylan were the shooters of Columbine. But let me read this last paragraph and I'll be done. As my son Craig lay under that table in the school library and saw his 2 friends murdered before his very eyes, he did not hesitate to pray in school. I defy any law or politician to deny him that right. I challenge every young person in America and around the world to realize that on April 20th, 1999, at Columbine High School, prayer was brought back to our schools. Do not let the many prayers offered by those students be in vain. Dare to move into the new millennium with a sacred disregard for legislation that violates our God-given right to communicate with Him. To those of you who would point your finger at the NRA, I give to you a sincere challenge. Dare to examine your own heart before casting the first stone. My daughter's death will not be in vain. The young people of this country will not allow that to happen. Darrell Scott. That was his speech, and that last part there says, do what the media did not, let the nation hear this man's speech. Please send this out to everyone you can, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do here on YouTube. So, now it's up to you. You can share the video, you can show other people, you can put it on your Facebook pages, I don't care. But I believe that this is me doing my part the best I can. Just to get this simple little message out here. And that's that. Be looking for more videos. I'm trying my best to record more. I've still been kind of setting up my new laptop, which I'm using right now for this video. And working on that documentary, still kind of in the planning stages. Working on my family Hanukkah video, just I guess a little gift to you guys and to myself. But anyways, that's the message that I wanted to get out. Be looking for more. Thank you for all of you who have subscribed. Shalom to you. Yah bless. Hallelujah.